We are back again. We are discussing about the causes, etiology of this chronic peptic ulcers. Okay. So in that we discussed the first part is a hypersecretion of gastric juice. Then second we discussed about the hyposecretions of mucin, that is mucus in the gastric area. Hyposecretions of mucin or mucus. The exact cause of this factor is not known, but because of this decreased mucin secretion, the epithelium which is get exposed over the acidic medium and get damages. Okay, that may be the cause of this erosions or ulcerations. So hypersecretions as well as hyposecretion of mucus, hypersecretion of gastric juice and hyposecretion of mucin. Then the next is the next cause the next cause is hypersecretion of pepsin, again induces ulcer formation. Then fourth cause is blood supply. This mucosal resistance is get lowered due to poor blood supply, due to some ischemic conditions like embolism or thrombosis, which gives rise to this necrotic changes with ulcer formation, ischemic necrosis and ulcer formation. The next cause is hematogenous infections. Few organisms might produce inflammatory foci in the wall of stomach, leads to necrosis and digestion of the mucous membrane with ulcer formation. In such case, there is first gastritis, and then there is ulcer formation. Okay, so hematogenous infections. What are the hematogenous infections which gives rise to this ulcer formation? Yes. What are the which are the pathogens? Name of these pathogens? Yes. What are the name of pathogens which are responsible for this lesions?
Helicobacter
Pylori, yes. H. pylori and other bacteria?
pylori and
Yes. Any other bacteria which causes this inflammation? Yes. Other bacteria is Streptococcus viridis. Okay.
yes.
Streptococcus viridis, or there are viruses also which gives rise to this erosions or gastric inflammation. After viral infections also there is the chances of gastritis increases. Okay, the viruses such as mumps, measles, after that particular viral infection the chances of gastritis is more. Okay, so hematogenous infections, they plays important role in formation of ulcers. So they produces inflammatory foci in the wall of stomach, which leads to necrosis and digestion of mucous membrane with ulcer formation. So in that case, there is first gastritis occurs and then there is ulcer formation. If the cause is not removed or if the toxicity is more, intoxication is more, then in that case this gastritis may get complicated with this peptic ulcers or ulcer formation, maybe duodenal or gastric ulcer formation. Now the next cause is hormonal factor. The duodenal ulcers, they are more common in males because of these hormones. In the males, they get more prone to get this duodenal ulcers than females. So what happens in females? In females, if the females they get this ulcers before pregnancy. So whenever this pregnancy occurs, these ulcers, they get completely healed up during the whole period of pregnancy, and again they get reappear after the end of pregnancy. So there is definitely hormones that they plays important role in the ulcer formation, estrogen and progesterone. These ulcers, they plays important role in this particular whole process of this ulcer formation. So they are more prone to get in males than in females. Now the next and important part is stress. The stress, that is emotional stress, plays a very important role in formation of ulcers by the neurohormonal pathway. There is neurohormonal pathway, that is stress. It activates hypothalamus. This hypothalamus, it activates anterior pituitary to secrete. This anterior pituitary, it acts on adrenal cortex. Okay, adrenal cortex, that is this anterior pituitary, it secretes ACTH, and adrenal cortex, it secretes, that is adrenal gland, it activated, and there is corticosteroid, that is there is secretion of cortisone. Okay, this first and two, that is ACTH, and the second one is cortisone, they acts on the gastric glands without influence of the nervous mechanism in human being. Okay, and in addition to nervous mechanism, the humoral influence is also responsible for excessive gastric secretions. Okay, so there's two factors, that is this hypothalamus, it activates anterior pituitary to secrete ACTH. Tuba, please unmute yourself. Sorry, mute yourself. This anterior pituitary, it secretes ACTH, and the adrenal cortex, it secretes cortisone, and both of these get activated by the hypothalamus, and hypothalamus, it get activated by the emotional stress. So whenever this emotional stress increases, this hypothalamus, it acts by two ways, through anterior pituitary and through adrenal cortex. So both of this, they acts on the parietal cells of the stomach to secrete more HCl. This both ACTH and cortisone, they acts by two ways, again on the stomach wall. So stomach wall, on the parietal cells, there is secretions of more HCl, and peptic cells, that is this they are more secretion, there is more secretion of pepsine, which is 99% of exocrine, and pepsinogen, that is 1% endocrine. Pepsinogen, it is 1% of endocrine. Okay, so this the secretions of this pepsine and pepsinogen get increases due to the action of this cortisone and ACTH on the stomach, that is on the parietal cells. Okay, and on the peptic cells. Parietal cells, they secrete more HCl, and peptic cells, they secrete more pepsine, which is 99% of exocrine, and pepsinogen, 1% of endocrine. So this secretions increases, and which creates the inflammation, which increases the inflammation, more inflammation in the first part of duodenum, more commonly in the first part of duodenum. So this is the stress which gives rise to this ulcer formation, emotional stress. The next cause is neurogenic theory, neurogenic pathway. The overstimulation of the vagus from hypothalamic region are responsible for oversecretions of the stomach gland. So activation or more stimulation of the vagus nerve. Whenever hypothalamus get activated more because of any environmental stress or emotional stress, this vagus get activated or get stimulated, and it is responsible for oversecretion of the stomach gland, which causes vascular spasm, which gives rise to this. Whenever the vascular spasm increases, which gives rise to ischemia, ischemic necrosis of stomach wall, and there is ulcer formation. Okay, vascular spasm, which reduces the blood supply, which gives rise to ischemia. Ischemia gives rise to necrosis of stomach wall, and there is ulcer formation. So neurogenic pathway, and which this neurogenic pathway, it acts by the more vagus stimulation. So whenever in that particular person, when vagotomy is done, that is whenever this vagus nerve get deactivated, vagotomy, it is the surgical procedure of vagotomy. In that case, this whole things get vanishes or reduces. This gastritis will get reduces. So neurogenic, this is the neurogenic theory behind this chronic peptic ulcers. So it is experimentally supported that after vagotomy, the gastric ulcers, they get healed up completely. Okay. The hypermotility of stomach wall might be contributing factor due to vagal stimulation. So because of vagal stimulation, there is the first thing that occurs is ischemic, that is because of spasm, there is ischemia. And second is it acts by the with the hypermotility of stomach wall, which may be the contributing factor due to the vagal stimulation. Now, next cause is chemical factor behind this chronic peptic ulcers. So, food saves the gastric mucous membrane from the corrosive effects of acid secretions from the duodenum. Okay. So, whenever the patients or the persons who are suffering from this ulcers or more gastritis, they always gives you history of irregular eating habits. Okay, whenever there is irregular eating habits, the amount of this acid secretions, they become uneven, more they get secreted, but there is no food to protect them against that particular corrosive effects on the direct on the mucosal membrane of the stomach wall. The food saves the gastric mucous membrane from the corrosive effects of the acid secretions from duodenum. So if food is not there, but still acid they get go on secreting, then this definitely gives rise to inflammation of the stomach wall or on the of the duodenal wall. Okay, so chemical factor, that is the food, irregular eating habits. Okay, so this is all about of the etiopathogenesis of chronic peptic ulcers. Now for your quick reference, here it is given in a comparative manner, that is duodenal ulcers and gastric ulcers. Incidence of duodenal ulcers more common, gastric ulcers less common. Anatomy, duodenum, that is the first part of duodenum get affected, and gastric, that is lesser curvature of the stomach, get affected more. Duration, acute or chronic, that is duodenal ulcers. Gastric ulcers, always, that is chronic. Malignancy, rare with the duodenal ulcers, and gastric ulcers, there may get chances of benign or malignant ulcers or pathology, malignant pathology, that is benign kind or malignant. Food intake, this duodenal ulcers, pains of duodenal ulcers relieved by food, but gastric ulcers, they get worsened by the food. Whenever food is taken, the pains or burning of gastric ulcers, they get rises, but duodenal ulcers, these pains and burning get relieved by food, intake of food. So this is the comparative study of duodenal and gastric ulcers. Now, these are the predisposing factors of this gastric ulcers, okay, gastric or duodenal ulcers. We have discussed this priorly, that is male and female ratio. It is 3:1, but it may be 4:1. Habits, more related with irregularity, irregularity of habits, that is irregular eating habits, or whenever the food is taken, it is always in hurry or with worry. Hurry and worry, it is also, it proves harmful for this uh, pathology of the stomach wall. So the irregular eating habits, and always whenever the food is taken, it should not be in hurry and it should not be with worry. So they are the predisposing factors for this peptic ulceration. Then again, of course, it is very important constitutional factor. The lethargic habits or sedentary habits also gives rise to more prone to get this ulcer formation. The hereditary plays very important role in ulcer formation. Then stress, very important factor for ulcer formation. Then blood group, very interesting factor, blood group. The persons belonging to O group, they are more liable to peptic ulcerations than others. Why? because of presence of mucopolysaccharide. Because of presence of this mucopolysaccharide, they protects that particular harmful, they are more prone to get this particular ulcerations because they stimulates the formation of antibodies. So blood group O, they are more prone to get this ulcer formation, and more, blood group A, it is more prone to develop the carcinoma of stomach or intestine. So blood group, it is again act as a predisposing factor for peptic ulcerations. Okay, so here we will stop today of this lecture of this peptic ulcers. If there is any query, you can ask. The next lecture will be about the lesions of peptic ulcers. Okay, about the lesions, that is the sites of gastric ulcers. There are two main sites, that is acid producing area and non-acid producing area. Acid producing area is a fundus, and non-acid producing area pyloric and the cardiac zone. So in next lecture we are going to discuss about the pathology or of the lesions of peptic ulcer. Then we will go towards the next part of our GI system. That is, we are going to discuss about the, as we are going to discuss as we are discussing the ulcers and inflammations of intestinal tract. There is again one more pathology, that is typhoid ulcers. That also we are going to discuss with this. If any query, yes, you want to repeat me anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so
No, ma'am.
if anyone of you left while taking the screenshot, I am again repeating this part. Okay. Again, this is a topic for may ask for 5 marks or 10 marks. Okay. Peptic ulcers, acute and chronic peptic ulcers, etiopathogenesis, the lesions, and the pathology. That part is left. That is what is the gross or microscopic appearance of the ulcer. That part we are going to cover in next lecture. Etiopathogenesis is very, very important. Prepare the etiopathogenesis of acute and chronic peptic ulcers. Yes, any queries?
No, ma'am.
Next lecture, I am going to ask you this particular things, etiopathogenesis of peptic ulcers. Okay? So we will stop here today. Next lecture might be on Monday or Tuesday. I will message you because there are 2 lectures a week of pathology. If you want to, if you want any other system side by side, you can take more extra lecture also. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So we will end. Now we are going to end this today's section. Please send me your attendance serially. Okay. There are 26
Okay, ma'am.
participants.
Yes, ma'am.
Present. Okay.
26 years.
26 participants are there.
Yes.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye,
Bye,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Take care, ma'am.
Yes.
Bye.